Good morning, everyone. I'm at Renikaya, going to meet with the district attorneys. I had a little problem up in Coppola. They gave the man my whereabouts of where I got a restraining order on. They gave my kids the whereabouts, and then they didn't even know. One of them didn't even know he's out. And I was like, dude, like a year and a half ago, we banned the man from the reservation, and so it's pretty serious. But they're like, oh yeah, Trista, your life doesn't really matter. And I actually had him on speakerphone in front of the whole class that we did down there for our trauma abuse, that my life doesn't matter, and I'm sitting there with PTSD from a man who gets his mail on Road K, where Jim Jones used to stay, and it was his family. But up in Covelo, no one cares. And Jessica Goodrow had fought with me for almost over a whole year, mad at me over my paperwork. Or it's 2 years now. She's held my kids from me, all them up there in Covelo, just to be mean to me. I finished their programs 3 times. And now Jessica's trying to hold a big old grant thing for millions of dollars to go look for children that you should have been looking for a whole year and a half, but you didn't want to because you were just trying to be mean to me. And you're sitting up there running how many programs, Jessica? And whose best friend are you? Whose family did you grow up with? Kevin Johnson, Jim Jones, yourself from Round Valley. Or should we go down to registered because you guys try to put a spirit named after Kenny, and it was a pervert spirit you tried to name it, carried by a man who chants. And you're lucky I went down and talked to a bunch of the elders down there. I was there for 2 weeks with the elders. And when my other cousin Nietzsche comes forward and testifies and shows what I showed him, you guys snuck in my uncle's house while I was asleep on the day before Christmas. And so my uncle sit up there with his dogs. And Marlo already told my dad and my uncle, when I holler for help, or I think for help and holler, she can hear me. Because she's part of our grandma's smoke group. We'd holler, oh, grandma needs a stick in her throat, or we would think. And we're also, me and my brother Everett are called the helicopter kids. We flew the helicopter in Boonville. So I'm calling out to the Boonville cop. If you remember us, and the lady from the chocolate factory up there, if you remember us kids, me and my family need to get out to Covelo. They'll tell you that we don't, but we do. They need a vacation. Some of them are scared up there. Our elders have been calling Jared Hoffman. My Uncle Galen, Asheville's best friend from up at the land management, or she knew him some way or another. She was scared, and she bought me a ticket from Humboldt County to come down to Mendocino County for me to get held in Covelo. They wouldn't give me a ride. If you check how I look like crap. When I was up in Table Bluff, I had all color to me. My face was filling up because I had no stress when I was getting a job. And the gaming commissioners, even after I wrote all the Indian stuff, the lady cried and she said, I have a ranch by Alder Point. You're my family. And she gave me a big old hug, and she took time off to stay with her kids. Because if I find out that you guys are disciplining our kids the way our helicopter flew, you guys are going to be in a lot of trouble. And actually, I already proved it. That's how you guys are disciplining our kids up there. And they're teaching our little kids stuff. So when they go out to play basketball, if a kid gets a foul, or if a kid steals a toy at a training, they're going to come here at your children. The helicopter kids. The district attorney said he was friends with me and Toad. You better think about this, because that town did it again. And a lot of people got hurt. I have 5 sisters that are all Freemans that the health center and ICWA have as mentally ill because of the Nome Cult Walk. My sisters didn't even go on the Nome Cult Walk, just I did. But you're going to hold just our kids. Teresa Bottega got busted with guns and drugs, but she still gets her kids, and she's not an endangerment. Karina Carrillo was in the car when they shot my best friend's son, little Kenny. It had been my stepson if Tope would have survived his cancer. But she gets to see her kids, and she's not an endangerment. Just me for speaking on you guys' inner thoughts. are CB. And there's like 4 of us up there that are going inner thoughts. We know, but we're too scared to speak. And then you got my Uncle Mike. He kicked him out of UK Travels too, called him mentally ill for calling Dr. Mac a quack and growling. So you kicked my uncle out. That's another Freeman. Let's add that to number 6. And there's Michael Freeman. Let's add that to number 7. Oh, and then you guys want to go down and mark our family, just our family. They mark Boopers down as suicide. They mark Harold or Willard Freeman down as suicide. And each medication that you check on me, my brothers, and my sisters, even though we have different symptoms, all our medication will come out to suicide awareness pills. But they don't care about my white blood cell counts and red blood cell counts being high for 8 years. And Kenny Hanover wants to laugh about they gave me pills for my kidneys because I was peeing out black blood. You know what the pills he looked up for? And he laughed. Kenny Hanover laughed. Medicine Man laughed. Oh, it's rectum pills to open up if you have cancer for a male. But I'm supposed to be taking stuff for my kidneys. That's a lawsuit and a half. Don't forget about my son's breathing machine, you guys. What you guys took from him? A doctor got fired from the health center for almost killing 4 children, having them they had pneumonia that year, and the doctor refused to give them antibiotics. 3 kids went to the Willits Hospital. Mine went up to Humboldt County, where I fought, and they told me that his lungs were damaged from coughing. So I came down and I fought with the health center. They didn't fire the doctor because we're at Lyden. They just let him go. Who was my son? Jacob Harold Johnson. You know, my son's everything. I named him after Harold Freeman because my uncle graduated from UCLA with his master's. Wait till you see where he went to junior college at. And wait till you meet his friends there and see where I'm registered. Because you guys are all mad because I'm registered with the Farmers Association. You guys are mad because I'm registered with the California potatoes, the green beans, or not the California, but the Idaho potatoes, the green beans, the Jolly Green Giant. My grandma loved me, and so did the rest of the elders. And we're registered all the way to Washington, D.C. That's why when the number I had you guys call and say that you're related to Willard Freeman and Trista Freeman. Willard Freeman was the first one to come out of his platoon from the Hitler War. He carried his dead friend on his back his dying friend on his back for 100 miles. You think if he was going to heal him, he would have healed him? And then when they pull out the paperwork from the Smithsonian downstairs, they'll find my picture holding my grandpa's Purple Heart in dedication of he beat Hitler and he saved our country. That's who our family is. And when the district attorney made a live video up there how she put the most perverts away in COVID-19 for 25 to life, but not the one that raped my child, a Native American child that her grandfather sit in the museums from here all the way to Washington. Not only does her grandfather sit in there, her grandmother sit in there too. But you guys said, who is Jade Johns? You know, just like you guys said, who is Goldie Reyes? She ain't shit, but guess what? She's the shit. And Jade Johns is the shit, just like her grandma. And then you guys want to go on with my other children. I had Court Peterson. I showed him a picture of my daughter. He said, who is that? I said, that's Johanna Lila Johns. That's the girl you took from me for 2 years. But you want to ask who she is? Now, I named her after my great-great Aunt Johanna. And she was the shit. She had smallpox when she was little and went in the sun, so she went blind. She was able to count her steps all the way to the store, all the way to the post office, and count her boxes down and do her own shopping by herself. She was a powerful woman. She stood up for what she believed in. And she did it when she was blind. That's why I named Johanna after Johanna. After my auntie. Because Johanna, you're the shit too. So is our grandma. And Joyce Johnson, your name came from a little old lady that I met at the hospital down here that stood up to the doctors for not giving her doctor's appointment when it was supposed to be. And I said, hey, that's who I'm naming my baby after. Because she stood up to the whole Ukiah Valley Medical Center. She was the shit, Joyce. She had those ladies crying. That's why you're the shit too. You know, each one of my kids were named after somebody. So please, everybody, it's very serious up in Covelo. Like I said, I'm registered under the Santa Rosa, California children. I'm the last of the babies, and my Aunt Kathy knows it. I went around and I have dance gear. I'm supposed to. My children will soon. I have dance gear in every reservation from here on to Washington. And my Aunt Kathy knows that I'm the registered medicine woman for Round Valley and for our family. Kathy Sanchez Oliver Freeman. You know what she said about her birth certificate? Her mom was named after a nickname, and she doesn't have a dad. Wait till you guys find out who her real family is, because she was adopted and she was hid for safety. And like really, I'm gonna shower and get down to the district attorney, start my case open, and see what happens. So pray for me, pray for my family, and I'm the only one speaking right now. Oh, and I set my uncle Mike up with an appointment down at the Lawrence Science Berkeley Museum so he can speak on Lawrence Joaquin Sr. Because my uncle Michael Freeman Sr., he was the last one to dance with his papa over in Sacramento. That's the last museum I gotta go. I can't remember being in there, but I will make it over there. Guarantee our family's hanging up in there. Probably my Uncle Mike standing there next to my Grandpa Lawrence. And we're not from Mexico. Uncle Mike said we come from Spain. So we're the Spaniards, let's get our bulls out, and get our red stuff just to fly it. It's been a long, long, long journey. I've met a lot of people out there that was non-native that I asked to help me. That would be more native than the natives that I know in Round Valley. And that they are out here sticking up for our people and fixing things in their town, but Covelo won't. You guys ain't the only ones I've been talking to. Don't you know our grandmas went all the way up to Table Bluff, the Ackermans, and put people at gunpoint for doing what you people in Covelo are doing? And you're taking it into our schools and teaching our children and disciplining them? Exactly what my grandmas went up to Table Bluff to stop. So I pray that someone listens to me and my case gets open, because I have 5 sisters up there that nobody's helping. 5. And when I sat there to give my speech, I had empty seats with suits on them because my sisters were too scared to go up and speak. So I spoke for them. And you know what they did? They got mad and they ran me out. And they said I can't have a voice for them. But I'm going to have a voice for my sisters in honor of Boopers Freeman and in honor of Harold Freeman and Goldie Rios. And the dispatcher wants to tell me they threw my grandma's yellow book away for narking on the cops. Throw it away. And then he told me my grandma Goldie wasn't shit. But guess what? She's the shit. And you were on recorded line. You said it was being recorded. And you was fighting with me for 6 months, talking smart. He said you was smarter than me, just like Jessica Goodrow and Teresa Batiga and Tony Batiga, and all of them said they were smarter than me. I called the BIA and I turned every one of your guys' programs in, because this would be the last time any of you people be sitting at those jobs. You guys want to get millions and millions of dollars for the Forest Service? You go up there to the Forest Service. The Forest Service doesn't even know that you guys are using their names for all those grants. I worked with Galen Asbill. I stopped the freeway from coming over from Chico to Covelo. But you guys want to use the Forest Service for MOUs, and Jessica Goodrow and Tony Batiga write grants underneath the National Forest Service? That was the last thing you guys did. Because I picked through every single grant, even all the grants for ICLA. Where did our money go? Oh, go check it out up in Covelo, because people are round up there. That's where all our money went. They call it the Round Table up in Round Valley. They actually did a report to the tribe, and they wrote a $4 million report for social services saying that you have to do this. And then at the end of the meeting, you can get the minutes and record it. She'll say, Jessica Goodrow will say, you can do whatever you want with the money. It's all yours. Oh, council lit up. But that money is for our elders and our children, Jessica. But you're going to sit up there and tell council they can do whatever they want with $4 million while you're writing another grant to go look for children that you help lose and that you help try to falsify the paperwork? You guys, Round Valley tried to falsify the paperwork and try to blame Pinoleville. They try to blame Laytonville. They try to blame Point Arena. They try to blame Hopland for all the missing kids and for Native Americans being put mentally ill. Round Valley is putting that on all you guys. It's serious. You guys got to check my paperwork out. Thank God Coleman, Britton, and he read some of it and he goes, "Holy shit, Tristan, we're in trouble. Or you need a good lawyer." And then who else? Oh, I had Jordan McCoy read my paperwork. And you know what she said? She's just like, "Holy shit, I'll help you." She said 10 different reasons of why they took my kids. Jessica changed. And she's blaming it all on Clayton and Pinoleville and the ICWA Roundtable and CPS. So she could sit up on her job and not get in trouble. And she threatened me in federal court. And they will not give me my paperwork. She was best friends with Kevin Johnson's family. Kevin Johnson is related to Jim Jones. Don't you think Jessica might know that stuff too? Oh, did I find out they're related to Charles Manson too? And that's some serious shit. You guys want to growl around about our native stuff? Well, guess what? We're registered all the way with the white people too. I sat down in that housing building with Barbara Wilsey and Edna McLean to have that drilled in my head what people can do. And that's you, Jessica. That's you and your family. The Martins, come on, Odge. You got to remember Ashley Martin. Remember that girl Jessica brought to your house and left at your house? Think, Odge. Think that girl that she left at your house. Think hard, Odge. Because that girl is Kevin's family. So Jessica can't deny not knowing them.